Adulthood. Things are about to change. So many things to be responsible for that you never really had to do before. But with some help, you can be prepared to take it all on and make going to college, going to work, or living on your own something to look forward to. With the help of some people who have already gone through many of the situations you're about to face, we'll take you through a variety of subjects and give you lots of useful information, tips, and advice that will help you as you transition into adulthood. We'll provide guidance on everything from education and healthcare to finances and independent living. You'll get a great overview of the things you need to know to help you get out there and live the life you want to live. So, let's get started.
Education's one of those things that anything in your life that you can think of, you can bring back to education. You can get a job, you can get a career that you're very comfortable with and that you like, but if you don't have a certain amount of education, you can find yourself stuck, unfortunately. A lot of people say that degree is just a piece of paper. Why is it so important? It's important because that piece of paper is going to show that you're qualified to get promoted, and with that promotion comes more money, and with more money comes more freedom in your life to buy and do what you want to do.
Once you have an employment goal in your mind, it's important to know what skills you need to be able to get there. And if you need to have a college education, start thinking about college early on so that you can plan for, what classes you need to take in high school, and, if you need to take the SAT, and figure out what steps you need to take to get you where you want to go.
People are able to learn certain different ways. Like with my ADD and ADHD, I have difficulty learning. I worked really hard. Not just by myself. I had the help of, my family and my friends behind me, having me able to stay up so late at night writing papers. I hate papers. I really do. You're gonna have to write every day, regardless of what you do. You're gonna have to know how to spell, how to do correct punctuation, capitalization, everything. So I think education is probably one of the most important things a kid could ever have.
Tap into your friends that are a little older than you and ask them, when you were moving out on your own, what did you do? They're educating you on what to do. Asking questions is getting education.
It's hard to be different sometimes, but you can still accomplish things, and the more that you accomplish, especially if you get your education, it's going to open doors for you, and you'll be able to do things without letting your disability, whatever it may be, stop you.
I think it's important to have a job so that you can be a part of the world, put yourself out there, get to meet new people. It builds character for you, and it makes you strong.
It's nice to have a reason to get up in the morning and go to work, or, be able to contribute and give back to your community is a really nice feeling.
I think it's important for anybody to have a job. You have to grow up someday and pay your bills and be an adult member of society, and that there's no exception to that for people with disabilities. Why not?
When I was younger, I wanted to be an astronaut, and then going through middle school, I wanted to be an actor. Going through high school, I wanted to be a 3D animation artist. And as soon as I got into college, now I want to be a business and marketing major.
You have to have priorities as you grow up, and a main priority has to start being, taking responsibility for your own finances and all that comes along with that. So I think that it shifts with age what you're looking for in a job or a career.
I work at Sam's Club. I specialize in serving samples for shoppers coming through, eating and shopping at the same time. Everybody else is the same as you. They're only human. All you have to do is be truthful and believe in yourself, and you can open any door that you want to. Now, even though I was nervous and I didn't really know what I was doing and I had to learn as I went along, I also figured out that I was good with people. I think it builds character for you to be out in the world on your own, to be able to survive on your own.
It does get frustrating when you're sick and you can't go to work, or when you have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and catch the early bus. But the reward, not only to be able to contribute to our society, but also the feeling of when you help people. So one thing is to be there and have someone help you, but when the tables turn, and now you're the one they're coming to for assistance. It makes getting assistance from other people more bearable, because you know that when the opportunity presents itself where you're going to assist someone, it's gratifying not only for the individual but for yourself.
Money. I love money. I like it when I get my paychecks, and every month, you know, it's just like, feels good. But then I know I have to save it for a better cause. Even though I walk by and I'll see like a new PlayStation 3 game coming out, I'm like, I want it, but I know I can't use it.
The easy part is seeing money in your bank and saying, oh, well, it's there, so why can't I just go and buy this cute top at the store, you know? And then you get your credit card bill in the mail and you don't have the money to pay for it because of that cute top that you wore yesterday.
I think I was probably around 18 or 19 when I really started managing my own finances, and I think I learned pretty quickly that it's important to keep track of how much you're spending.
Growing up, you never had to worry about food or shelter. You always knew where you lived, and you always knew that if you were hungry, you opened a refrigerator and you just grabbed whatever you wanted. But it was a reality check for me when, you know, I had a place to live, but when I went to the refrigerator, it was empty, you know, and, you know, you start realizing that those $100 could go better for food. So when I do open the refrigerator, there's food, and the food I want to eat.
Recently, after I just turned 18, I was able to independently have my own account, open my own checking account, have my own check card, and it felt like I was an adult.
The first actual credit card that I owned was a Target credit card. And I remember I was excited when, you know, I signed up for it and they told me you got $300, and the first thing I do was I ran over to the movie section and I bought $300 worth of movies. And, you know, everything was fine. I was able to walk out, and all of a sudden when the bill comes in, I was like, $50 a month?
I definitely ran into some pitfalls, and I think it's likely that when I first started managing my own finances that I probably went below zero in my checking account.
Keeping track of your bills is very important, because if you don't pay them, they're gonna find you. So it's not just gonna go away if you don't pay it. It's not a choice thing. You have to do it. So putting together like a schedule of due dates so that you know and make sure that everything's on time is very important, because, you know, it's gonna start affecting your credit and being able to qualify for things. And, you know, if you start looking for housing, because that's a transition that we all go through, you know, leaving home and graduating school and finding your own house, and, you know, paying bills late can affect qualifying for all of those things.
There are a lot of websites that can help you plan for, you know, how much money you have in your budget, and how much your budget should go towards food, and how much should go towards, you know, your living expenses or your rent. And, you know, I think those can be kind of tools for helping to, you know, figure out how much of a budget you need, or, you know, how much you need to be earning from work in order to live the way you want to be living. For me, when I was living with my parents, they did all of my personal care. So they helped me get up in the morning and go to bed at night, and a lot of other different things in between. And for me, it was really hard because I was on my parents' schedule. I had to go to bed when they were tired and when they were ready for bed. So for me, living independently was being able to manage my own life.
It felt like the walls were closing in, so I had to get out of where I was raised at. That was scary, but it was also something that I knew I wanted to do if that was going to get me to the next level.
I've found that I've grown up so much just in the last couple of years, being on my own and making all my own decisions, and not having to worry about, you know, oh, should I ask this person what I should do in this instance, and just taking charge of it and making my own decisions. And I'm proud when those decisions turn out to be the right one, and when they turn out to be the wrong one, I'm proud of myself for going back and fixing and making it right.
The restrictions that I had as a boy are no longer there. I can travel. I don't have to ask someone for permission. But I also know that with that freedom comes a lot of responsibility. There's things that must be done beforehand.
Make appointments, be dependable, plan out your schedule, what you're going to do, be on time.
Housing is very important because, you know, you can't just say, oh, that house is cute, I like it, I can afford it, I think I'll rent it. You have to make sure that I can get up those stairs, or I can ramp those stairs to get to the cute house, and that the doorways are wide enough, and that if I can afford it, if I can qualify for it. I mean, all of these factors fit into independent living. You have to find your house, but you have to make sure that your house is close enough to a way to get to work.
Transportation becomes a very essential point, and the reason for that is, in order for you to cook, you need to make your journey to the grocery store, and you can find yourself in very interesting situations. And do you have the resources? Do you have the skills, and do you have the necessary tools to get yourself out of that situation? Living independent has played a lot of roles in my life, and one of the biggest one and the most important to me is learning that I have to be my own advocate, and learning that I need to understand what is it that I need to succeed and surpass any challenges that I get.
Is it important to you to be able to ride the bus on a route that's convenient for you, that's wheelchair accessible? Is it important to you to be able to get your accommodations when you're in college and get the accommodations that you need to be successful in the workplace? And just learning how to advocate is so important in all these aspects of your life.
You need to know that health insurance is confusing, and that each one of them is different. The processes between PPO, HMO, Medi-Cal.
Sometimes it can be really overwhelming to deal with health insurance, and it gives me a headache to have to deal with that stuff. But it's really important to be able to advocate for yourself and know what your rights are, know what your insurance is required to provide. And sometimes you have to call them up and explain things, or ask questions.
If you call, it's their job to help. And if you educate yourself on the process and who to talk to enough to where you can get to them and ask the questions, they'll help you with the questions. You just have to put yourself out there enough to want the answers.
I think it's always a good idea to really understand what your disability is, what medications you're taking, so that you can have a really well-informed conversation with your doctor and really direct them as to how they can best help you.
You need to have your medical history with you all the time. I have mine written down on a little piece of paper folded up in my wallet just in case, and you have to keep your insurance card with you because you never know. In case of an emergency, it's important to have all of that stuff just in case. And also, anytime you go to the doctor, you go get a prescription, they're going to want your medical card, so you might as well just have it with you and with your credit cards and all that.
I've actually had to start filling out medical histories. Had to fill like a 5-page back-to-back about my whole history. I'm like, oof, Mom, what did I do when I was 6? Oh, you bumped your head. Okay.
I started making my own appointments probably around maybe 16 years old. And it was, I was called and made my appointment and then checked with my mom to make sure that that was a time that she could easily take me to the dentist or the doctor. So those little steps that started to prepare me for moving out on my own.
You just have to realize the importance of having health care because, I might not be sick right now, or I might not have a cold, but I could wake up tomorrow and have a cough and need to go and get antibiotics. And if I don't have a doctor to go to do that, I don't know what I'm going to do at that point. So I have to focus on the importance of having that option if I need it. So it has to become a priority.
The belief is that a lot of people who have a disability, they are solitary people. They're very kept to themselves. They don't like to socialize. But in reality is you find out that a lot of people want to be social.
I get bored really easily. So I found it very important to get involved with your community, with your school, get involved at work, say yes when people ask you if you want to go and do things, because there's really no reason to say no.
I play guitar, taught myself ever since I was 11 years old. I still skateboard. I love to play football. I love just being able to smack somebody and knowing that, I did that and not get in trouble for it.
People with disabilities can do sports. There's ways to accommodate sports to work with your abilities. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. No one would ever think so. There's kicking, there's punching, there's board breaking, there's sparring, and The last thing people think of when they think of Taekwondo is a little blonde girl in a wheelchair. But I did it. I got my black belt, and it's just a matter of really lobbying for yourself and saying, I know I can do this, I just need to change this part a little bit, or I can do this if I can do it this way.
I've done indoors and outdoors rock climbing. I've done kayak fishing. I've done fishing. I've played soccer. There's simple adaptations that you can do with your friends. I've played beep ball, which essentially it's a form of baseball with a beeping ball.
I like to go out to eat with my friends. I'm a total foodie. I like to go and try different restaurants and eat a lot.
Movies, cafe shops, bookstores. Even though I can't read the books, but my friends would read to me, or we discuss books. Pretty much, anything that is interacting with people.
We are experts in our own abilities and in our own ways to accommodate those abilities, and it's just a matter of voicing it and making it happen.
When I first had my spinal cord injury, obviously I wasn't able to engage in a lot of the activities that I had with a lot of my friends previously. But there's actually a surprising amount of support too. There are other things that I can do, and I have friends who have similar interests who will do those things with me.
For me, I really learned how to advocate for myself by being around other people with disabilities who also had to advocate for themselves, and being able to network with them and figure out, what experiences that they went through and how I could learn from them and learn what my rights were was really important to me, and kind of a life-changing experience. Well, there it is. It's a lot to take in, and no one can get it all in the first run. You may have questions. So check out www.tknlyouth.info for more details on any of the topics discussed here. The site also provides you with workbooks and other tools that you can download for use in your planning. All of them have been specifically designed to help you successfully transition into adulthood. Things change, but it's exciting, and everything you need to transition is now within your reach because talent knows no limits.